Hey guys. Hey, hello. Hello. Unfortunately, the dingo situation at the moment is pretty dire, and Tina here, who we adopted from Sydney Dingo Rescue, they still have two of Tina's sisters, Odessa and May, in care with no applications. And I know there are dogs all over Australia in the same position, and there's a lot of animals out there that need help. But I do find the dingoes in particular are really stuck between a rock and a hard place. The laws in Australia, for those of you overseas, the laws in Australia are pretty messed up as far as dingo rights are concerned. It does seem like any real data or accurate information about dingoes has been squashed in favour of the farming industry, whether it be beef or lamb or whatever it may be. It feels like all the laws are just purely in favour for production for human consumption. So unfortunately, they don't have any protected status here in Australia. There's a lot of argument out there saying that even though it's widely known or accepted that dingoes have been here for over 4,000 years, the argument is, well, surely if they've been surviving in our ecosystem for that long, they should be considered native. However, diving a little bit deeper into it, I personally feel, from all the research that I've done, I feel they've been here a lot longer than that, and I 100% believe that if an animal has been here, if the number of years is in the thousands, full stop, that's pretty well established into the ecosystem, if you ask me. But let's say it's a lot longer than that. I don't see why they're not treated like every other native Australian animal. As in, it's not fair that they're not being treated like every other Australian native animal. They are being hunted out in the wild and poisoned, and they are being euthanized in most states in Australia as soon as they are in contact with a domestic life. So it's illegal to have dingoes as pets in a lot of the states of Australia. There's only a few that allow it, and New South Wales being one of them. So yeah, it's really just disappointing that this is what is happening to the Australian dingo. I really hope that it doesn't get pushed to the point of extinction before someone goes, hey, we should probably have looked after these guys. The point of this video is a bit of a plea to anyone out there who may be in a position to adopt a dingo. Now, it is a little bit more difficult than adopting a domestic dog. There are a few more restrictions. There are a few more precautions that you need to take. The one main one being that they are so physically able and impressive that your normal fences aren't going to hold these guys in. So obviously with this fence that we've done here, we've had to put a return on it. I feel for everyone who is in Dingo Rescue. They are all just overwhelmed with dingo numbers. They seem to just keep coming in, and they're all full and they're not able to help the usual number of dingoes that come in. This particular time of year, it's particularly bad for puppies, because dingoes only come on season in one time through the year for a couple of months, and so therefore all the puppies are born around now, or a couple of months ago, and they're all young puppies right now. So obviously, with last year's round of pups still at the Dingo Rescue, they've got an influx of new pups as well, and along with all the adult dingoes that also need to find a home. So unfortunately they're full. They're turning dingoes away because they're unable to take on any more. I know that a lot of our audience is overseas, but we do have a very small portion of our audience that is in Australia, and obviously even smaller again in New South Wales. If there's anyone out there that they think they may be able to, or maybe in a position to take on a dingo pup or a dingo for adoption, even just a foster so that we can, even just a foster so that we, oh, it's you, is it? You're biting him. Don't bite him. Hey, that's cheeky. Oof, that's cheeky little girl. Don't worry, mate. Don't, hey, you're still biting. Oh, mate. Look. She doesn't care. Sorry about that, mate. All you did was want a pat, didn't you? It looks a lot more violent than what it actually is. This is the perfect example of, speaking each other's language. Unfortunately, with the dogs and the dingoes, hey mate, there's a little bit lost in translation, and that kind of communication is either met with an absolute desperate effort to save your life, or ultimate offence. So, see, look at them. They've gone from, in dog language, I want to eat you, to let's run and play. But in dingo language, that's just not today, not right now. I don't feel like it. It's not as serious as what it looks. Takes a little bit to get used to, but I digress. I got distracted by these two. They are wild animals. We're not talking about domestic dogs here. We are talking about a canine that has survived on its own out in the Australian bush for thousands of years. Not only survived but thrived. And so these guys, they have some of the most prominent survival instincts you'll ever see. And again, this is something that I'm not trying to put anyone off. I'm trying to share part of the magic of looking after and caring for these guys, is understanding them and understanding why they do what they do, what the behaviour is, why they're exhibiting that behaviour, and how you can help them and communicate with them through understanding where they're coming from. They do show all those characteristics that we love about our own dogs, where they're loving, affectionate, they are very loyal to their pack, and that's part of the joy of owning any pet. But if you can win over a dingo, it's all that much more rewarding. So I suppose one of the reasons why you know, I'm giving a little bit of information here, is the fact that you're still going to be vetted by Sydney Dingo Rescue, and they're not going to give out these dingoes to someone that they feel is not suitable, and rightfully so. Yeah, it's really sad to think about, you know, you look at Tina and how much fun and how full of life she is, and just that real instinct to explore and discover, and you know, that's that cheeky side of her that goes through all my gear and rips it all out. Like, she's just got this really fun, inquisitive personality. And then it's really, really sad to think about her two sisters who are still living in a rescue situation where, you know, it's not like they have open space like this to run around in. And if anyone thinks that they might be able to take on a dingo, then please just get in contact with Sydney Dingo Rescue and just ask a few questions. Maybe you might ask a few questions and then realise that you're not suitable, and totally fine. But if you think you would like to, then that's the first step, is just make contact with them, and they'll be very helpful in trying to work out whether or not you are a suitable candidate to take on a dingo. They are such a intelligent animal, but one of the things that really impresses me is how strong their instinct is. You know, you talk about instincts with domestic dogs, but these guys, it's almost like it's just a hardwired program, like a computer program. They turn it on and it's just got all these programs running. It's the only way I can kind of explain it, because, you know, you think about certain scenarios that are not learnt behaviour, and you know, they seem to know what they're doing. It's hard to keep this one positive, guys. I'm really feeling for these guys and their grim outlook. I really hope that something changes before it's too late. Hey, mate. Yeah, you're one of the lucky ones, aren't you, mate? Hey? Yeah, but again, I feel for all the dingo rescue organisations. They are just overrun. They, you know, just need so much help. The government's not helping them. A lot of places throughout Australia are not legally allowed to help them. You know, they can't be pets in a lot of Australia. So it is tough. It is tough. I feel for them. There's not much success going on. Yes, you can get rehoming, but it just seems to be so many coming in, and there's still dingo breeders out there. These guys love this deck. If there's one thing that is making me happy of how many man hours has gone into making this deck, I love that they're always on it. Hey? Every time I look over, they're here on the deck. It's got shade in this corner from a very early point in the day, and as it heats up even further, as you can see, the majority of it is shaded, and then in the afternoon there's only a small patch of sun left over this side, and so they still have the options of sitting in the sun, laying in the shade, having a run, having a swim, just whatever they feel like at any stage in their day. They've got options, and you know, it's not the open freedom of the wild, but it's the next best thing, and it's the best thing that we can, you know, give these dingoes. But the other thing that most people can give them is just a loving home and somewhere safe for them to be, and they will be, you know, very, very loyal companions. You may deal with some cheeky, destructive behaviour like little Miss Tina over here, but that's the fun of it. There he goes. Wasn't warm enough. It's gone out into the sun there. What a life, eh? Sydney Dingo Rescue. If you feel like you want to give it a shot and foster or adopt a dingo, give them a call, send them an email, whatever you want to do. Ask them more questions. But there's a few that would love to live in your lounge room and hang out with you.
Some say I'm too wild, some say I'm too tame. Sometimes I'm a smile, sometimes I'm the rain. I'm carrying these secrets, kept them locked down low, but I need you to hear them so I can let them go. Take away from my way. Let me be free. Let me be me. If I was a shadow, if I was a ghost, full of false bravado, putting on a show. If all I've known is fiction,